Okay. Here we go. Okay, Sonia, thank you for letting me know. Are you able to hear me now? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Teresa. Oh, well, okay. Okay, I'm going to test this out. Oh my God. That is so horrible, and you won't even know what I'm exclaiming. Okay. Let's see what's happening. Hello, Sonia, since you're listening. Okay, you're able to hear me now. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. I'm Sudha Jamthe, and I'm going to speak super fast. So at least when you hear me now, we can catch up on all the amazing topics that I'm dying to share with you. So Sudha Jamthe here on Sudha Live. And this is my usual weekly Friday session with you on AI opportunities. And I'm going to tell you about NeurIPS 2022. I got to attend representing Global South in AI to add diversity to language AI. Susanna Raj and Parya Sarin were with me, and we did a workshop, and I'm going to show a little bit of the workshop. And I met amazing social affinity groups like us, Black in AI, Women in Machine Learning, Queer in AI, Indigenous in AI, Latinx in AI. And if I'm missing anybody, it just means that I didn't get to attend their sessions. But I met amazing set of people. So you're going to hear a lot more of the sessions and topics and people that I'm going to be talking about NeurIPS, because it was unbelievable. And there's so much more work to do, because we did a call for paper and double blind, and we had 12 posters selected, and a couple of us were able to present posters live. And all our posters are going to be 31 authors, 12 posters, 8 countries. We're all going to be there virtually on December 5th. So some of you are going to be joining virtually and watching that. So I'm going to show you how to get to that link to see that too. And my plan is to do a Zoom session as I go around the different virtual poster sessions to see it. So hopefully, you'll be able to join me and see that if you're not part of that NeurIPS network yet. And thank you so much for letting me know about the voice problem, the sound problem. So what did we do? So one of the things I did was I showed my newsletter, bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. I'm going to go back and share my link back here, because this is where you're going to see all the links of the past few weeks of newsletter. Not even weeks, it's many months of it. But the last few weeks I shared a lot of jobs and fellowships and stuff. They are all still valid. So I would recommend you go look at that. And this week I'm going to focus on NeurIPS, what I've learned, what is coming up, and ChatGPT 3 has launched. So I would recommend you check it out. Otherwise, I'll put it in the newsletter to tell you more about it. Okay, so what's the deal with NeurIPS? What did I see? What happened there? So I'm going to go share this link. This is my registration when I get there. So if you're registered in NeurIPS, you would see this link, but I'm going to show this to just give you a taste of it, even if you're not at NeurIPS or not there, or if you're new, but you're just following Sudha Live, and I'm grateful for your time. So we come under affinity workshops. As I said, North Africans in ML. Oh, I missed that. There is, and then Global South in AI, Women in Machine Learning, Queer in AI. And then we had like a whole poster session of all the affinity groups. It was not live stream, so you can't see that. Indigenous in AI, I told you, Latinx in AI, Black in AI. And so let me go back to ours. There were amazing sessions. So any of them you can go. I'm going to show this one to show you Indigenous in AI. And then the actual recording was right here. And you can walk through that and see the post. And I believe you will have to
sorry about that.
So you'll have to see so this is what you would see if you had access to the pass. So this Lakota AI code camp happened, and they have a lot of language stuff from Lakota tribes, and I hope I'll get to be smarter about this next time when I'm talking to you, because I just got introduced to this. So I'll maybe be smart about the language and how we can bring AI into it, or what exactly are they doing and stuff like that. So like that, there was a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to go to our thing. I made a lot of friends from Queer in AI team. In fact, some of them were also organizers of the overall affinity group. So it was a good conversation. Okay, so Global South in AI is us. Yash could not join us live, but she has a poster that is going to be shown on December 5th. In fact, Dr. Tehra Sahib is one of our area chairs. She's going to be there, and she's going to talk about Yash's poster and present it on December 5th at the virtual session. So the live session V3 went. So what did we do? Here, I'm going to show you. So the first thing we had was, where is our video? So here's a video coming. So the first thing we did was we had a keynote from Bonaventure Dasso. And let me show you the schedule. Give me a minute. So if you go here, you can see what our schedule was. So we had a keynote from Bonaventure about building efficient language technologies for African languages. And he opened up and he did such a fantastic job. And the good news is his recording, other than being here where you can access only from NeurIPS, is also available on his YouTube. So here is his name. Make sure you catch his spelling and check him out. And I will be sure to add that in our newsletter too. And then we had one of our area chairs, Jasmia Henry, who works at Microsoft, talk to us about a very important topic, which is about how do you operationalize bias reduction in post-production, which means after AI is launched, it has to start listening. And last week, I was telling you about how Meta pulled back on Galactica, and all of us know what happened with Tay, the chatbot, which went rogue in less than 24 hours. And so how do you operationalize? How do you continue to listen to your customers and not add to the bias? How do you do that while the system of AI is in production? It's very, very important for us when we're talking about language AI and we say, hey, there are not enough input on low resource languages. And now we put it out there. But if people interact and talk to the AI, then how do the companies get that, and how can they continue to learn? And that post-production piece is a very important piece, because we want to make sure that it does not increase the bias, it does not make the AI go rogue. And so that's the important topic that Jasmine Andre was talking about. And then we had a discussion with the audience, which was fantastic. And then we had few of our poster audience based on the time zone. Blessing Obuakiri was able to join us. Muskan was able to join us. So Blessing joined us from Canada. Muskan joined us from India. I think those are the only two speakers who joined. We had Yani Yanki from South Sudan online, but she didn't join us on the Zoom screen. So the 12 authors who are going to present their poster sessions, the virtual poster affinity session is going to be on December 5th from 2 p.m. And I believe it is 2 p.m. local time, not EDT. I will check that link to double check that for you. And this is the list. And you can actually go and look at each of their posters. So Yani had talked about the body language, how to do machine language translation. There's this whole gender-based mitigation. This is Yash and Smital's poster. This is the one that Tehra Sahib is going to present. Yash also has this other thing. So this is the same thing, Marathi language. I don't believe this person is presenting. Oh, Ricardo was there talking about the Spanish, how to build a Spanish sarcasm model. So one of the questions people were asking at our live poster session was, what models are you using? What algorithms are you using? So our philosophy with this whole Global South in AI, adding inclusion to language AI, is based on a simple thing. So Low resource languages are the ones where there's not enough training data, so the AI cannot be trained. So the languages are not being included in the translation. And if they are, the performance is very low, so it's not getting adoption. So from various different companies who are trying to do that. So our thinking is, we are bringing these 12 people after they've gone through a whole bunch of selection. And what are they doing? They are focusing on what is important for their country for solving a local problem. And so gender bias in Marathi language is something that Yash and Smita have focused on. Let me show you another one. There are 4 different or there are multiple Spanish languages within Spanish. The Spanish from Mexico is different. Spanish from Spain is different from Chile. And so how do you understand the sarcasm difference between them was Ricardo's work. There's an interesting one, which was, let me look that up. I believe it is from Nigeria. There was one, this is the one I was looking, identifying COVID vaccine hesitancy hotspots in Nigeria. Just looking at social media posts. This is the one Mr. Blessing was talking about. And then this Bella is a bot that Muskan Mahajan was sharing. And all these are going to be on December 5th in the virtual poster session. If you have access to this, you'll be able to see the poster. So one of the things we are going to do is we are going to put a copy of all these posters and their abstracts at our website, globalsouthinai.org, globalsouthinai.org. And it's going to have all the posters. So right now I'm showing this to you from NeuroIPS site, but you will get to see all the posters, the abstracts. And if you are a researcher out there who's interested in any of these topics, you can collaborate with them. You can build on this and publish more research. And that's the whole beauty of research, right? We're all standing on the shoulder of giants. And so this vaccine hesitancy is still an important topic in Nigeria. And they decided that's what they will do. And as they're solving for this problem, they will build a data set in the local language, right? So that's the thinking. Similarly, this is in Kenya. They want to reduce misinformation and monitor for hate speech related to the Kenyan election. And so Klinsman and Hali Hussein have focused on that, right? So that is that's a local problem they're solving and building a data set. I was showing you previously, Bella is a bot for English language acquisition. And people are saying, hey, you said it's Global South and other languages, and this is doing English, and we are not against English. English is a language by which the AI is taught. Much of the training data exists, and so it brings its culture into all the translation, which is what we want to reduce and bring more diversity for various languages. But this is a local problem. Muskan Mahajan said, hey, we have a group of 350 million people in India who speak Hindi, and we want to teach them English, and they use a combination of it. So they chat and use English script, but they are speaking Hindi words and Hindi grammar. So essentially they're speaking Hindi with English typecast, type with English typing, and that is called Hinglish. So there's variation of English like that across the world. And this one is on English. They decided to build a bot for that. And that's so you get the idea that the idea is to solve for local problems. So you'll hear a lot of this. You can go look at this and come join us on the December 5th for the virtual session. So let me go back to sharing the screen back again, so you can get a taste of what I'm talking about, what we actually got done. Let me see if I can get you. It's taking some time to load to come to that. Okay, I get it. Okay. So this is going to show, it's going to take a while. I won't be able to show this. So let me put this in the newsletter and make sure that you get access to that. Okay. This is what I was trying to show you was the link to the recording of the event that actually happened, so that you can see that, right? So I'm going to see whether, as I told you, Bonaventure had put it on his site, right? So I'm going to see whether I can show you directly from Bonaventure's own Twitter. Okay, so I quickly found Bonaventure on, you just need the right spelling. I'm very big on right spellings because Bonaventure is amazing. And he does a lot more research. He's a mathematician. He's in Canada, and we just spoke to him only about the language AI part. So if you don't get the right spelling of somebody because it's not a common word you're used to, like even my name is Jamthe with a J, which is not silent, then you're going to miss out on learning stuff from people and collaborating. So look for Bonaventure's Dessous spelling, because I had the right spelling and I found him on Twitter. So he has a bunch of videos here. This is the one. Thank you, Bonaventure. Other than finding the time he opened for us, other than talking and presenting, he actually did a little bit of the recording and has put it here. So I'm able to show it for you, right?
What is definitely language technology? So I define it as a very interesting system that deals with human language, just as simple as it is. Now we have like many examples of like language technologies. We have like Google Translate. We have speech recognition, like Alexa, Siri, those like for speech recognition. And we also have like many keyboards, sorry for a typo, and autocomplete systems, games as well, you know, anything that comes in and that promotes the language. Now, I was wondering if you are aware of those, for instance, statistics. So this first picture here is technically showing us the number of African languages supported by existing voice assistant. So you have Siri, you have Alexa and Cortana from Microsoft, I think. And definitely the language of African language representation is 0. There's none. Here you can see about like translation systems. So the highest is with Google Translate, and DeepL and like Yandex Translate have like very little to none. If you come on this, let me call it pie chart, you will see that African language represent a very big part, 31% of the all existing languages. So here we have European, we have India, we have like all of the existing, but African languages on their own represent already 31%. But then why don't we have as much, or at least like some tangible amount of like language technologies in those languages? So I think that something is imbalanced, and that's what leads me to the problem of like language resource. There are many types of language resources. For instance, I was talking about softwares. There are also data sets. Like as researchers, we mainly focus on like data sets. For instance, having data sets for machine translation, question and answering, anything of the sort. And also those data sets also usually come from like things, websites like Wikipedia pages. But the thing is, there are no or very little Wikipedia pages written in those African languages. I think there might be just like very few ones. For instance, Igbo has BBC, Swahili, you know, but for the other big majority, there are no search like platform to where you can access information directly in those languages. And of course, there's research papers. I mean, here it can be like in AI, it can be linguistics, documentation of like existing like literatures, you know, like syntax, morphology of the language, anything that can help build or advance the language. So it matters because without those, like without data, for instance, you cannot build a language technology, at least not from the AI perspective. You can't. If you don't have like some initial data on the language, you can't start building an ML method or machine on it.
Okay, so that's a very interesting place to pause. So I would recommend you look at Bonaventure, follow him on Twitter. I subscribe to him, you should. Otherwise, I'm going to share the link and in my newsletter, bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. Thank you, Bonaventure, for finding the time. And then as I said, in the NeuroIPS site itself, if you have a pass, if you are part of it, you should be able to see it and get to it. But it's still taking a long time for me to load because I'm streaming live, and getting to it seems like too much. So apologies, I'm not able to show that to you. Instead, what I'm going to do, Blessing, you're able to join me. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm so grateful that you came and joined on Zoom, a Blessing, and showed your slide the other day. And I'm so thankful for that. So I am very excited to see your presentation specifically. And, I'm trying to be unbiased, but there's a lot of 12 other presentations, right? So I'm ready to see all of them on December. I'm going back to September. What's wrong? The year is almost over. So one of the things I'm going to do is I showed a slide deck on NeuroIPS at the Global South in AI. I'm going to find that deck and I'm going to share that also with you guys. Okay, so everything is going to come. In a little bit, I will put this on here on LinkedIn, but I'm going to share that with you. Everything is going to come in the newsletter. So what I've been talking is there are multiple different social affinity groups and interesting presentations and the like, right? So that's all the stuff that happened. So what I'm going to show you next is what does the presentation look like? How do you get to it when you're going to join the affinity group on December 2nd? Let me show you. So we are, this is NeuroIPS is using a system called Topia, and this is the link. As I said, I'm going to be there and I'm going to go to each of our sessions and I'm going to hear that. I'm going to do a live Zoom just like you're saying it. So for those of you who are presenting the affinity posters, the 31 authors, 12 presentations, like posters, this is also almost going to be like a real poster session. The virtual session is going to be almost like a real session. How does that look? I mean, how does that work and what does that look like? So you essentially have posters and you're just standing and there are posters next to you, adjacent to you, behind you, and it's like kind of competing, right? And sometimes you just stand, nobody comes. And based on your posters, mostly people come, right? People just, kind of go around and look at different posters, stop and ask in a real setting. That's what happened with our poster sessions. So that's what is going to happen in what is being recreated as a virtual session. So I logged in on Topia, and if you have a virtual pass for NeuroIPS, you're going to be able to join. And then if I turn on my camera here, right now my camera is being used by Zoom, so I didn't turn it on. If I did, I can talk here, and instead of this Teletubby picture, it will look like me and you can see me. So that's how it's going to be when the thing goes live on December 5th. And in fact, I think Black in AI also has virtual posters that day. So, tune in December 5th, look at NeuroIPS schedule, and I will be sure to update this in the newsletter. And this is the thing, right? So you come in and you go. So for those of you who are presenting here, I go walk. You can see my footprint. Isn't that cool? Okay, it's pointing at me. I can actually start biking. Cool, isn't it? So I start biking, and funny, it still shows footprints. So I could go to, let me see, I can go to any of the presentation. Exposure fairness in music recommendation. Okay, I look at this. So if I'm a presenter, I'm going to stay here. If I'm an attendee, I'm just going to sit here and say, okay, I'm going to listen. So for those of you, the Global South in AI authors who are going to be presenting, if you're watching this, like Blessing or Muskan or Yaini or Tera Saib, you're going to just park yourself on your poster and wait for other people to come. I'm going to come and visit you for sure. And there's going to be a lot more people. And then you explain what your poster is about, what the research is about, what are the problem you're solving, what are the data you have, what are the challenges you faced. And there, I believe NeuroIPS has set it up in Topia such that at any given time, only 8 people can be your audience. If the other people come, till when somebody else leaves, they won't be able to join here and they'll have to go look at something else. Right. And so there'll be eight people or less than 8 people at any given time, and then they'll rotate and move around. And so as people come in, you'll be able to see more Teletubbies looking characters here, and you can talk to them, or they will talk to you if they have their audio on, and they can ask questions. And so you can explain as you see new people coming in. If you're a presenter, just start explaining your whole thing and just plan for it. And if you're an audience, that's fun. I'm going to kind of switch because we have a poster from Global South in AI, which I'm going to present, but I'm also going to kind of find time to hop around a little bit and make sure that I cover all our posters from Global South in AI. And I would show you other posters. I don't know. I'm going to go do my homework and see what are the different topics, what is interesting. So I would recommend you look at our schedule, and I will try and post that also on my newsletter. And all the posters are going to be at globalsouthinai.org, and that is where it's going to be archived as a proceeding, so you'll get to access to it. So to summarize, for those of you who have a virtual pass for NeurIPS, you can attend this virtual poster sessions on December 5th, and just go to neurips.cc and see the schedule, and you can get to it. And you don't miss the Black in AI. I think there was another affinity group who had let me go check that. There was another affinity group which also had posters planned. North Africans in ML. Icham Hamochi, Wafa Mobad. So their group is also planning for, and they had something on number 28 also, but I believe they also have virtual posters planned, virtual poster affinity session. I believe I'm seeing this here from NeurIPS saying it's 1 o'clock CST time. So bookmark that. So it's not 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. somewhere in some time zone. Okay, I'm going to go back, share my screen. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I had not shared the screen. So in NeurIPS schedule, I went and saw it says affinity sessions, virtual affinity sessions, and it is just listing all of them, right? And different affinity sessions at different times. So check out for that. Okay. And if you have a pass, you can just come watch it, and you will it'll lead you to the Logtopia world that I showed you. Here, let me go back to sharing the screen. So this is the Topia world that I showed you, where I went, and this is the Topia world. I ended up going here. So it will show you that, and then you can go around and present and listen, ask questions and learn. If you're interested specifically in Global South in AI, we have 12 of these posters, and you won't know it is called Global South in AI or anything. It's just going to show all the posters. So be sure to check our site and make sure, or go to the schedule from under the workshop in Global South in AI and come check us out. I am super excited about this. And talking about diversity, it's not just about diversity, because when we started this, we just had this double blind poster session and said submit, and our area chairs went through that. We did not say, oh, we want to get so many from Africa and so many from Asia and so many from Europe, or we did not have any kind of intentional way of adding diversity. We just said we want the best papers. We gave it to our area chairs. It was completely double blind. So we've got 12 amazing posters of researchers solving for 12 problems that is important for their countries, their regions, covering at least 8 languages. And so what I would say is, check it out, because these are like the top researchers in budding researchers in the language AI world. And so there's a huge opportunity for collaboration. And then talking of language AI, the newest thing in news is Chat GPT, that is coming today. So there's been like a little excitement on, hey, we have GPT-3. Are we going to get to GPT-4? What is happening? And OpenAI said, hey, we are going to give you something called Chat GPT, which is language. It is based on GPT. It is like almost GPT 3.5, but they've trained a model called Chat GPT. and it is actually chatting. It's like you build a chat bot. And so you can actually go there and try. I'm not going to do that because I have to log in and stuff. I did do that earlier today, and I just chatted with it. I said, I chose the option, it's free, sign up, and they're saying it's in research mode. They have a lot of disclaimer of, how everything could be wrong, and they're learning and give feedback and the like. And I just talked to it about whether dogs can cross the road, and what is good or bad, how do you recognize it, and what do you do, and what if it is a service dog. And it's just complete dumb conversation like you should be having with the chatbot AI. So hope you'll try that out. And I saw a lot of excitement on Twitter, various threads of people trying different things. Somebody had connected their typewriter to some kind of hardware unit that connected to GPT-3, and they said that it helps them chat and build some kind of story. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the GPT-3 world, all chatting, and so it'll be interesting to see what you come up with the chat GPT. So I haven't found anything profound that I feel like sharing here, other than I got to play with it. But if you try it out, I would like to see what you got to say. Okay. So the other interesting thing that I saw in NeurIPS. So I told you about the different affinity groups. I was trying to get to our own one. I showed you Bonaventure's talk, and there was a very, very, very interesting talk from Dr. Alondra Nelson from the US White House, from the Office of Science and Technology. And what I ended up doing, like I always do, I can't wait for Sudha Live, I shared it on LinkedIn. So I was there listening live, and we have heard about the Bill of Rights, and about it is a call for collaboration. This was done in a very participatory way, and so they got multiple orgs and people. We also contributed to input, and you heard it from me here right on Global South in AI about my view of this and comments on this while back, because this all started last December, and so it's almost a year's time. And I have shared Dr. Nelson's talk, especially to my students who took my recent class. And we had some discussion about that. And one of the things people were saying, hey, but how do we bring this into practice? This is just looks like, a framework and conversation. There are many, many people who are doing different frameworks. And so what I found interesting in this conversation that I heard from the keynote from Dr. Nelson is, one, they showed how much participation they did with so many different organizations and tech companies, public organizations, and nonprofits, and they had global counterparts that they talked to in other countries. So to get feedback and kind of refine it to 5 points is what they came to on this Bill of Rights. And then there was this focus on design, like don't wait. So we talk about responsible AI, and we say fairness is about making sure the data set is fair, and we have all this fairness analyzer. Yash teaches that, I teach that on that topic, right, about responsible AI. And then we talk about explainable AI is after the AI is there, go explain how is it making decisions. Let's look at the brains of the AI, and there are models and technologies around that. So as a technology person or a product manager building AI, you know about these two. And I teach about AIX on designing it, right? So one of the things that resonated with me was a call to design AI right, and instead of going and trying to fix it later. And we've had discussions about this at our class on AI ethics class at Barcelona Technology School. So I love that part. So I'm going to kind of think about this and see how we can do more of this, using my AIX framework in a more practical way. And then the other interesting thing was Dr. Nelson was saying, the US government is the largest employer and is also the largest consumer of technology. And so they buy technology, they are using technology, and within that, they can actually make sure that this Bill of Rights has to be incorporated. Otherwise, they will stop procurement. So it was kind kind of an interesting way of, practically doing this. And then they actually had this on how we, and the neuro IPS community, as we were watching, how can we listen to that and what we can do. And so that I had a little 9.5-minute clip video of that as I watched live. So I put that on here. Let me see if I can play it for you.
As well as diverse community consultation and subsequent reflection on the development and the use of systems. Outcomes of these protective measures should include the possibility as well of not deploying the system or of removing a system from use. Like, we need to leave open the possibility that this threshold will not be met and that the tool or the system should not be used.
So in our class, we talk about this and we say, okay, you are building an AI, you're part of a team, you want to do the right ethical thing. So the way I talk about this is there something that is being built? Is there a feature that is being added? Is there a line that you will not cross? And you cannot go and sleep at night if this was being built. And so that's how I tell my students. So that's how you draw the line and you say, I absolutely cannot go cross a privacy violation or track people in this way or harm people, this set of people that you are not in the room, but we are not representing them. And I'm aware of this. It's many of us who are working in tech, who have worked in tech, know that, right? You don't have to wait for AI to be deployed and bad things happen, and then somebody is going to scream about it or going to I have raised a compliance issue about it. We know that. So that is an important thing of, stop it. If you can stop it, stop it. Don't have to wait for later. So that was.
In some cases, so why is this principle important in practice? In some cases, models have ended up not working as well in the real world as we would expect. That's an understatement. I know all of us can resonate with that. Particular example, in addition to underperforming on real world data sometimes, models develop to predict the likelihood of sepsis or infection in hospitalized patients can cause alert fatigue by falsely alerting to false positives the likelihood of infection.
So there's a few more. So this was a lot of detail on how we can practically apply these principles. Oh, this is the place I wanted to take you to. How to take this principle and move it to practice. So she took all 5 of them and then she went through this detail.
One of our collaborators at the federal government, of course, is NIST and the Department of Commerce, the National Institutes of Standards and Technology.
Our own Pamela Gupta is in NIST advisory focused on security, cybersecurity. So definitely follow her because she also has her own live stream.
And they're developing a risk management framework for AI that will be released early next year. It's going to emphasize the socio-technical approach that Shakir mentioned at the beginning that I think is so important to our work, to identifying and managing risk, emphasizing that AI systems do not exist solely in a lab setting, but rather that safety and efficacy of systems depends on the societal context in which they are deployed.
So this was a key theme instead of, a technical approach, socio-technical approach. And so I hope we can think about it, internalize that, and when we are building products and launching AI, especially my students who are here listening.
As well as the impact on the people who interact with them. You should not face discrimination by algorithms and systems. Systems should be used and designed in an equitable way. Proactive steps should and can be taken to protect individuals and communities from algorithmic discrimination. Why and what can those steps include? There has been extensive research, extensive reporting, including by many people in this room, showing that AI systems can have discriminatory impacts across a wide range of demographic groups. Hiring systems that learn the characteristics of existing employee pools and reproduce discriminatory hiring practices, non-traditional loan underwriting and pricing models meant to expand access to credit that instead limit access to African-American applicants when controlling for other credit-related factors, AI-based student surveillance systems that are more likely to flag students with disabilities as cheating because of their disability-specific needs.
Okay, so this is what I have shared on LinkedIn right here. So for those of you who are already watching this feed, I'm going to come and share this in the live stream so you can go watch this. Oh. So what I'm doing is I'm actually adding a comment, guys. Just so you're wondering. Okay, so you can go watch that, as I've been repeatedly saying today, that I will be sharing it in the newsletter. Okay, so we spoke about what I saw in your IPS that was interesting, and this was one of them. And I want you to share some feedback. What do you think? How are you going to apply this thinking? What is working already, and what resonates with you? So I would like to hear back from you, or if you're watching this, or later when you look at this, add a comment and we can have a discussion. And if you are in the even if you're just in the newsletter, that's also fine. We can, you can reply back to me. And so join us on December 5th on NeurIPS for the virtual session. And for those of you who are not at NeurIPS, who are not getting access, I said I'm going to share this on Zoom. So I will do the same way, live stream like this. And the best way to make sure that you're not missing out on that is to join us at Global South in AI. So globalsouthinai.org is our site, where I said that our posters will be up, but 12 amazing posters. But if you can just join it, we have a group called Global South in AI. Add a comment, and I will come and share the live stream. Oh, this Bonaventure's talk also I've shared here, so I should have gotten to it straight away from here. So we haven't been very chatty on here. We have a Slack group where we are very chatty, but this is where we will come. I will come and share the Zoom when I'm doing that. Okay. And the last thing, I want to see whether we have a copy of our own poster from Global South in AI. And I will be able to share that with you, because that was something that we were very thrilled. Me and Susanna Raj came up with this. Let me show the one that Pariya did. And let me show the one that Susanna did. Okay. So I know, yes, I'm not yet sharing the screen. I'm just trying to find the poster, guys. Okay. So where is it? I hope you'll be able to join me. So let me show one at a time. Yes, I'm going to share the screen. Okay. So this is the general one that Pariya had done, talked about what I was saying, that we are focusing on building data set to solve local problems. And of course, we've done AI Research 101 webinars and poster building webinars that Susanna has done to get more researchers into the pool. And another sub-project that came out of this third conclusion is we need inclusive construct for gender. That seems like a common theme across languages. So I'm going to show you that poster. So this is inclusive construct for gender. It was primarily, it came out as a secondary research from this Global South in AI work. And Susanna Raj has been working on inclusive construct. So she brought that for gender across multiple languages. And Yaini Yankee and her co-author Andrew contributed to it. Tiago Felipe Avanci from Brazil contributed to it. So we had multiple different languages, like all compared on what is the definition, or what is the construct of what is women. And if you look, and so this is how we found that, we're going to hear the details of this, come watch the actual poster and come ask questions. The construct is that we need the word in every language, in every emotional state, in every culture, in every setting, in every life stage, every age, race, solution, voice, tone, and celebration. And you stop and think about it for your language or any other language that and it's just amazing. And now we think about it, if we can make this across multiple languages. So that's the holy grail we are going towards. And I hope you'll join us at the poster session. Come ask questions, think about it. And as I said, join Global South in AI group on LinkedIn, and I will come and share the live stream like this of the poster session. Or if you're going to be at Global at NeurIPS, find the Global South in AI posters and just come hop around like the Teletubby that we saw on Topio. And 8 of you can be at the poster at any given time. and we'll answer your questions, and hope we'll have have a fun time. And this feels like after working for a whole year, we barely scratched the surface. That's the feeling I left NeuroIPS in-person sessions with. And I think that's the next step we are going to do with the virtual posters on December 5th. So on Monday. So with that, I'm going to wrap up and check the newsletter for all the awesome stuff that I've been promising that there'll be links, and check globalsouthinai.org, because we'll be archiving all the proceedings will be on that site. And I hope to continue our conversation and do amazing stuff going forward. And so I'll see you all on Monday online. Otherwise, I'll see you back here at Sudha Live next Friday. Thank you, everybody. And sun is setting, the weekend is beginning. So I will see you all soon. Bye. Stay safe. Bye. So let me stop my